I'm going to start back there and walk to you, okay?
Okay. And
What's your first and last name?
Matt Mason.
Matt Mason. And your official title?
I would be the, I guess, host of Fear Frontier. I can laugh. I can laugh if you want me to.
If you want to maybe just start, like, up on the bell.
Sure.
And then I'll talk and start walking to Matt Mason.
So I'm staying
Stay
right
right
here?
there.
Like us. Do you want us to stay here?
It looks scary.
Okay.
We'll see how this goes.
Where should I be looking for starters?
And then, Matt, you'll just look at me when I do the interview. And then, are there 3 points you want me to make? This in total, this should take no more than 2 minutes because it will add maths and stuff too.
Right. Can you guys think of anything like points? Like
this one's scary.
we can definitely, while this building's on camera, we can talk about this building for sure. This is definitely a highlight. So we definitely, you could point at it and I could say a couple quick reasons why it's scary.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
like
then
that.
You said that you go down
I always used to
underground.
say
How long's
that-
the tour?
On average, it's about an hour and 45. That can vary, but that's on average.
Okay. And then,
I like to tell folks that the Ghost Adventures teased you with places that are haunted. We take you into the places that are haunted.
the Ghost Adventure teased you, and you take us into the place. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I tell folks. On
Yeah, because you do go indoors on the tour.
All right, I'm gonna start on that, the steeple.
Does my face look okay, guys?
Yeah.
Does it look right?
I'm like making sure.
I
that
woke
don't
up
have
this
any
morning and I
fun.
was like, thank goodness I'm having a good skin day. I was like, my skin.
Me
Me
too.
too. I'm not.
And
I'm
hair.
My back is itching because I'm sweaty.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Tour. Your friend.
I know this gal. I've seen her.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. And 3, 2. Hidden gem for you today. We are here in Apache Junction, the Goldfield Ghost Tour. You've likely heard of it, right? We've got something extra special, and it's called the Fear Frontier. This is Matt Mason, and you say with the Goldfield Ghost Tour, you walked around it outside, but you're going to take us inside, and that's what makes this a hidden gem.
We do like to take people inside if you're brave enough, including the building that we are standing next to now, the old bordello of Goldfield, active from the 1890s. This is one of the most haunted locations I personally have ever stepped foot in, and we'd love to take you all inside of it as well.
So what makes you different too is this isn't like a boo kind of attraction.
No, we've
this is all
often-
based in history.
It is. It is a historic tour based on the darker, more spooky nature of it, things you may have not known, things that maybe needed to stay buried that we were foolish enough to unbury and bring to you. Now, we like to tell people often that it's not a boo tour, so if something actually does happen to frighten you, we didn't plan it. It's completely natural.
Well, I know that you work in the paranormal, right?
Correct.
Have you ever had anyone say, "Oh, I felt something on my shoulder"?
Almost every time.
Seriously?
To the point that we're no longer surprised when it does happen. Now, we can't promise you that will happen. You just come on and see for yourself, but it happens enough that we've started to take it serious, but we're no longer surprised when it happens. People have actually fled the tour.
No way.
I'm serious, yeah. They've run out screaming, are you okay? And they just, we have to get out of here, and nearly knocking my crew over as well. I mean, it's
Okay.
not an every night occurrence, but it's happened. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't happen.
Do you ever get scared?
No. I mean, well, that's a lie, yes.
I knew
But
it. I knew it. I could
Fear
tell.
Frontier doesn't run. We take it head on. A lot of people invest in the paranormal only to find out maybe it's not for them. We face it head on. We don't run, we take it on. But we've seen people run, but we're always the ones that kind of stay behind in the dark and see what they're running from. We want to find out what it is they saw, what it is that wanted to be seen, why did it reach out? And this town's full of so many stories and occurrences that happen so often that just standing in this very spot, we could maybe get our answer.
Okay, so we're based here at the base of the Superstitions, and the Apaches had a special name for this.
They actually believed this was the literal portal to hell. They do believe that the Superstition Mountain was protected under surveillance of a thunder god, and that anyone who trespassed or dared disturb that sacred mountain, this god that guarded the portal to hell would literally choose your fate.
Okay. Well, you do feel kind of a weird vibe here. I mean,
You do.
You do. You walk. I mean, even driving out here And if you've, only seen Superstition from like as far away as the valley, right? We show it every morning on our morning show. It is magnificent. But you get up close to it, actually pulled over on the way out here to take a picture of it. You get a bit of a creepy feeling in your tummy.
You do. Some say the land is sacred, some say the land is cursed. Maybe it depends on the individual. We have a foot in both, actually. We sort of like to walk that line between light and dark and try to, figure out what's here.
Okay, and this is brand new.
The Ghost Tour is Goldfield's newest attraction. This is true.
Okay, and I know we're going inside some of the buildings, you said.
You do go inside. Mhm.
Okay. Tell me about that.
You get to go inside buildings such as the Bordello next to us, as well as under the town. We will take you into the mine where most activity is seen, and that's where a lot of activity happens because after all, in 1897, they actually struck an aquifer that flooded the underground, making it unusable. So the fact that we're down there already is just steeped in sort of a dark, stay-out history. A lot of people think it flooded literally because the land is cursed. So not only do you walk cursed grounds, you go under where the curse might have literally been struck in 1897. And that is where probably the most people feel tampered with, touched, grabbed. We see probably the most people run from there. Everything from just something touched me on the shoulder to they saw something, they heard something. We've actually had objects move in the dark, a shovel, rocks. No one's ever been hurt, mind you, but things don't stay where they're supposed to always.
Okay, so this isn't necessarily a kid-friendly place. This is more for people who really want to tap into paranormal activity.
Well, true, I've met some very brave kids. There have been some kids on the tour, and sometimes they want to wait in the car, but the bravest ones of all, they come along. And something else that's interesting, miners were a very traditional bunch, and they hold tradition more than just about anyone I've ever met. Now, in the day, you had to be 13, only 13, to enter the mine, to work in the mine. Many children who are under 13 who have been brave enough to venture on our tour, they actually get a good amount of activity, and we think it's because they're sort of focusing on the child that's under 13.
Well, and maybe they're not spoiled by, the world around us.
This is true. In fact, Michael behind me has theorized this. Talked to some about it, and and what's odd is some of the kids that seem to have the most activity oddly seem the most at peace with it. And I often ask, do you see things at home? And about half the time they're gonna say, yeah, they're used to it. But that's only half. The other half don't like it.
They leave here scarred.
For life, probably, I'm assuming.
Okay,
See us
so
in their nightmares.
There's a little bit of humor there, just a little bit. But
A little bit.
When you walk through the town during the day, there's a lot happening here. There's so many things to do. It's at night. Obviously, the
Yes,
steakhouse is open.
Yes, it is. The steakhouse is open at night. A lot of people will get a steak here and then head right down to our tour. We actually like to encourage that. We're proud of the town. It's a great place to bring people by day. It's just, you might want to leave by night unless you're going to venture with us.
Okay.
You gonna walk down here?
Yeah, we can walk down and just talk about it. So one thing that I... Thank you. I see the thank you. And you too, Jeff. There's some ruts down here. One of the things that, there's a cute gift shop. It's... what was I going to ask you? I completely forgot. Oh, well.
Something
Obviously,
about gift
there's a lot
shops.
to do here.
There is a lot to do here.
There's a lot to see during the day, but it's at night.
Things
Things really change.
Things
around
change.
here.
That's the word I was going to use. Things change at night. It becomes almost another place. And we have a lot of guests who will frequent here, come here annually, bring the family. They love it. Then like, oh, a new attraction. And one of the first things they say, this town is different at night. And I'm like, you have no idea.
It's hard not to notice superstition.
The Superstition Mountain is always watching. That is the infamous Superstition Mountain. A beautiful mountain, a very peculiar formation, worshipped by the Apaches that were in this area. Some still, actually, I would say, still worship it, actually. So it is sacred ground, but it's so sacred that when it began being trespassed upon, they laid a curse. Supposedly the curse is that anyone who dies within this desert, covering 160,000 acres, you're forced to stay. You can't leave. Your spirit dwells which is one of the theories as to why Goldfield has accumulated so many spirits over the centuries. And men have been out here trying to find gold easily since the 1500s.
The prospectors.
Including the conquistadors, including the Peraltas, a very famous mining family, as well as Jacob Waltz, the lost Dutchman himself, who supposedly has 250 million still out there somewhere. Many who venture to this day to find it, they don't come back.
And that's very true.
Very true.
You might notice we've got two people behind us. We're walking in a triangle formation, and that is how this works along the tour. It's by design.
By design for your protection. The two behind me will hold protective lights, as will I. We recommend you stay in the triangle formation that we form, known as the triangle of light. If you leave it, well, you might be all right, but we can't be held accountable for what may happen to you.
I'm getting into the triangle.
Wise decision.
Okay, I think that works. Good. Yeah. How much does it cost?
It's 25 for adults, 22 for seniors, and 15 for kids.
Okay. I'll get all that off of your website.
Like I said, we're not rolling right now, right?
No.
Okay. Did I look at the camera